Good evening and welcome back to Golden Eagles Sports Report. Jackson, the volleyball team is powering their way through conference play and the basketball season is fast approaching.
That's right, Andrew. We cover that and a whole lot more. So get ready, Marquette Nation, because Golden Eagles Sports Report starts right now.
Oh, that's a poster. From the Jeannie Hayes Virtual Studio at Marquette University, this is Golden Eagles Sports Report.
Marquette gets the rebound, and the champions have gone down!
Hello everyone, I'm Andrew Muzu alongside Jackson Gross. It's almost time for the return of college basketball happening in just under a month, and a familiar face will be on the sideline, but not for the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, that's right. It's actually going to be Marquette women's basketball star alum and Connecticut Sun guard Natisha Heidemann. She's making her return to college hoops. This comes after Penn State announced Monday that Heidemann will be joining the women's basketball staff as a director of player development. Heidemann will be reuniting with her former college coach, Carolyn Keeger, and Penn State College.
Keeger spent 5 years at Marquette, winning 60% of her games during that span. And Heidemann and Keeger won the 2017 Big East title together and went to 3 straight NCAA March Madness tournaments between 2017 and 2019.
Heidemann is coming out of a breakout season with the Connecticut Sun, making it all the way to the WNBA Finals while averaging 9 points, 3 boards, and 1 steal. The men's basketball team looks to showcase their off-season work in the team's first open intra-squad scrimmage on Saturday. Emma Kroll brings us to the action.
Anticipation fills the Al McGuire Center. Although Marquette Madness is not on the calendar this year, the basketball team hopes to build the community's excitement for the upcoming basketball season by hosting an open scrimmage.
Really grateful for our fans that came out. It was a good crowd, good energy in here. I think there's a lot of people around Marquette and around Milwaukee that are very excited about the start of basketball season. And there's nobody more excited about the start of basketball season than our team.
The blue team is off to a scorching start, 17-4. Junior forward Osasare Igudaro proves impressive, slamming down an alley-oop dunk to force the gold team into a timeout. The gold team finds their groove in the second half and cuts blue's lead to 12 points, 50-38. Sophomore guard Stevie Mitchell is the driving factor of the run, scoring 11 points in the second half alone.
I love playing with Stevie. Stevie's an aggressive player, so I know if I'm not feeling this like confident to play or I'm a little tired to play, I know I can give it to Stevie. He makes a great play.
Their run is a bit too late as the blue team finishes the scrimmage out strong, winning 65-46. Sophomore Cam Jones dispels any worries of a sophomore slump, leading the team with 20 points in the game.
So he was already a great offensive player, and obviously he got better in a lot of aspects on offense, as you saw today. And just shooting with confidence, getting to the rim. But he's gotten a lot better on the defensive end too. So he's just turning into being very vocal as well. So just understanding where to be and knowing where other people need to be, telling them where they need to be.
The Golden Eagles now turn their sights on upcoming events and the start of their season. They'll take on the Radford Highlanders November 7th at Pfizer Forum. I'm Emma Kroll, Marquette Wire Sports.
And with that, we would now like to welcome in assistant sports editor Ben Schultz, who was at the game, who was at covering it at the Al McGuire Center. Ben, what a time to be alive. College basketball's almost here.
Yeah, it's my favorite sport, favorite time of the year, aside from March when we get to March Madness, but I'm excited.
You're already at work. You wrote a column in the Marquette Tribune highlighting sophomore guard Cam Jones and his performance. What do you see from him? Can he lead this team to something special this year?
Yeah, he really impressed me in the scrimmage. He had 20 points. He led all scorers in just the 24 minutes that they played. They had no subs, so no one got to be taken out. But what impressed me most was just his willingness to attack the rim. Last year we saw him spot up from 3, literally whenever he had enough space or maybe just a breath between him and his defender. But here we just see him attack the rim in ways that we never saw. And so he's adding things to his offensive game that are going to help him be maybe the leading scorer for this Golden Eagle squad.
but this is a new Golden Eagle squad. There's a lot of newcomers, but there are some returning players. What were your overall takeaways from seeing this team play?
They looked really good, but one team had way more potential starters. The blue team had Oso, Zach Reitzel, who's a transfer from NAIA. They had Tyler Kolek, Cam Jones, and first-year walk-on Jonah Lucas, and they just absolutely took it to the gold team. Like, they went on crazy scoring runs with the help of Cam. Tyler Kolek also had 16 points. His shot looked a little bit better than it did last year, and he also had a lot of assists, which is what Marquette fans are used to seeing from Kolek. But Stevie Mitchell also really impressed. He had 16 points in the scrimmage, kind of finding his way. He went 2 for 4 from 3, and he just did not shoot that well and that much last year. But he was a 2,000-point scorer in high school. So I think Marquette fans can expect to see more scoring out of Stevie Mitchell this year.
Yeah, and I know it's just a scrimmage, so we shouldn't really overreact to this stuff, but I'm sure head coach Shaka Smart is also excited. He's going into his second year. What are your expectations for his squad this year?
Yeah, so they're a younger, a little bit less experienced squad than they had last year. Last year they had Kirk Queth and Daryl Morcell, both of which were grad student transfers. And so they don't really have that kind of senior presence, but they do have a ton of players coming into their second year under him. They've been able to learn a lot. Olivier Maxence Prosper, I'm expecting to have a huge year for Marquette. 6'8" wing, can kind of do it all. Very versatile defensively, offensively. He had a stretch where he scored about 7 straight points on Saturday, getting to the rim. He had an alley-oop. He was shooting the ball well. So I think fans can expect a lot out of him as well.
Yeah, he's going to be a big player this year, especially. But what about other teams? I know Big East Media Day is coming up October 18th. Where do you think the other coaches will have Marquette ranked?
Yeah, so last year Marquette was picked to finish 9th in the preseason poll. I think they're going to be the same spot this year. They just don't have a returning double-digit score. They're going to miss that. They have a lot to prove. Last year Marquette obviously exceeded expectations, and so they very well could do it again this year. There's a lot of potential. Oso has a lot of potential. Cam, Stevie, a lot of guys. Even Sean Jones, the first-year guard. David Joplin is another guy who fans can expect to see fill the stat sheet. Shaka said on Saturday that he's just a monster. Him and Cam are probably their 2 best scorers. Yeah. So I think if they can rely on those guys, and if those guys can exceed expectations, Marquette can finish higher than where I think they'll finish.
Yeah, I guess we just have to wait and see on that. We'll be seeing more of Ben later, but coming up, did the volleyball team finally move up the national rankings? Find out after the break.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Roll over. When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique. And your mother. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor. It's time we take a step forward, come together,
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Welcome back to Golden Eagle Sports Report. Once again, I'm Andrew Muzu.
And I'm Jackson Gross.
Women's soccer rounded out the month of September, winning 3 of the last 4 games. October, on the other hand, hasn't been so successful as the team comes off a hard-fought match against Seton Hall on Thursday. Senior midfielder Elizabeth Beckers puts 3 shots on goal in the first half, but fails to capitalize. Both the Marquette and Seton Hall defenses play their hearts out and head into halftime scoreless. The defenses continue to play lights out until the 82nd minute when Seton Hall sophomore midfielder Natalie Tavana finally is able to find the back of the net. Look at that. The Golden Eagles finished the game with a 6-shot advantage, but failed to make any of them and ultimately lose 1-0. Jackson, this marks the team's 3rd straight loss. They hope to get back into, proper form when they play against Providence on Thursday.
Well, it hasn't really been much better for the men's team, Andrew, as the season hasn't really treated them that nicely either. On Wednesday's game against Villanova kind of served as just another example of that. In that first half, both teams were really starting out slow. Marquette outshot Villanova 15-6, but the score stood at 0-0. In the second half, Villanova finally capitalized in the 60th minute, courtesy of senior midfielder Victor Benedictson. Although they outshot Villanova, the Villanova Wildcats, 25-17, similar to the women's team, the men dropped their 3rd straight game 1-0.
And the Marquette men's soccer team looks to try to pick things back up, pick up the pace a bit, heading up against Providence after dropping their 2nd Big East game of the season. The Golden Eagles find themselves coming out strong with junior forward Lucas Sunison converting a penalty kick, giving the Golden Eagles the lead 1-0. Providence evens the score in the 60th minute when the ball ricochets off first-year defender Kyle Beebe, generating an own goal. Minutes after the unlucky point, junior forward Beto Soto scores his 2nd goal of the season, putting the Golden Eagles up top 2-1. And with much needed response, the Friars find a goal of their own in the 75th minute, coming from a header by senior midfielder Esben Wolf. Continuing on that high, Providence earns their first lead of the game, coming off a goal from graduate forward Gil Santos from the top of the 18th-yard box. In the midst of a hard-fought battle, things look grim for the Golden Eagles as the game continues to an end. But in the final minute, sophomore midfielder Edre, how do you say that last name? Caceres, I'm going to get that right, creates opportunity, tying the game 3-3. Marquette and Providence end the game tied 3-3, and Marquette avoids a 4-game skid. What a great game that was.
That was insane. That was an insane ending. But things are going a little bit better for the Marquette women's volleyball team as they were greeted by St. John's in their first game of their doubleheader weekend. Marquette was really able to heat up early in the game, taking a 7-2 lead. However, St. John's eagerly pushes back, going on a 17-11 run of their own. The Golden Eagles snap back and win set 1 25-17 with the help of junior Aubrey Hamilton's 5 kills in the first frame. In the second set, both teams go point for point in a continuous battle until Marquette takes the edge, gaining an 18-12 lead. However, St. John's tried to recover as they sliced the lead 23-22. But 2 straight points from Marquette ensures the win for the Golden Eagles 25-22. Now starting in that third set, St. John's goes on an 8-2 run, but Marquette was able to pick up the pace by reducing the deficit. With the set tied all up at 24, Marquette ends the match with a victory with 2 straight kills coming from sophomores Jenna Reitzma and Ella Foti, earning them the sweep over St. John's.
And going into Saturday's match at Seton Hall, the Marquette volleyball team, they were ranked number 18th in the nation. Now, they stand at 16th, and they have a lot to show for it. It's a competitive start for both teams, with Seton Hall sophomore outside hitter Jenna Walsh tying the set at 6. Marquette rallies and goes on a 10-2 run to break open the game 16-8. Golden Eagles don't look back and win set 1 25-16. Brain Hamilton combined for 16 kills in the first set alone, and set 2 was more the same as neither team can break away and go on a run. Marquette finally finds a hole and takes a commanding 19-12 lead. Seton Hall strikes back and cuts Marquette's lead down to 5, but it is not enough as Marquette takes the second set 25-18, and with eyes set on another sweep, the Golden Eagles jump out to a 14-4 lead and close out the match 25-16. This marks the Golden Eagles' 13th straight victory, second sweep in a one-day span, and they hope to continue the streak this Friday against the defending Big East champs, Creighton Blue Jays. The now number 16 volleyball team continues to move up the rankings. 2 Marquette players also earned Big East honor rolls after the weekend. And Jenna Reitzma takes home Big East Defender of the Week after leading the Golden Eagles in kills and points. And junior middle blocker Carson Murray earns a spot on the Big East Weekly Honor Roll after posting 11 kills and 5 blocks against St. John's. And with that, we bring back Ben Schultz. Of course, we are joined by Jackson Gross, who is our anchor, but he's also the volleyball beat reporter. So we're going to play a fun game of this or that. All right, I'm going to give you guys 2 scenarios, all relating to the volleyball team, and you guys will both pick your side. Is that cool?
Works for me.
Sounds good for me too.
All right, let's start. So far this season, who has proven to be the bigger addition? Yadira Anchante or Aubrey Hamilton? Ben, we'll start with you.
I think it's going to be Yadira Anchante. Marquette last year, they had Taylor Wolfe and Claire Mosier as the 2 setters. Taylor Wolfe was the Big East Player of the Year, one of them. And so filling that role was going to be huge. Right now, she's averaging over 10 assists per set, over a kill per set as well. She's finding her teammates, setting them all up for success, setting up Aubrey as well. So you can't get set up. You can't put points down on the board without getting set up, which is exactly what Yadi does.
That's right. But do you agree with Ben?
Man, you're starting out struggling, Ben. Already 0 for 1 on the first question.
The setter is the most valuable position on the court for volleyball.
I don't disagree with that, but someone on the outside has to execute on those sets.
All right,
and it's been Aubrey Hamilton. While Yadira is really replaced with Taylor Wolfe and Claire Mosier were doing setting, Aubrey Hamilton has replaced her and Hope Wirch in terms of attacking. She leads the team in kills per set, and she also brings another set of versatility where Ryan Tice, when I talked to him a while back, he said that he hasn't had a player like this before because not only can she hit really well, she can block, even better than Allie Barber for those fans who are members. So Aubrey Hamilton has been absolutely huge for this team, and she's easily the best newcomer to this Marquette squad.
But who is the best player? Who is the MVP? Carson Murray or Aubrey Hamilton? We're going back to you.
Man, I know I just gushed about Aubrey Hamilton, but I have to go Carson Murray. She's been a truly underrated player this season for Marquette, holding down the middle, one of the few returning players. She made the only Big East preseason team for Marquette, the only player there. She had having a fantastic season. I believe she leads the season team in hitting percentage, so it's been really good to see her play.
Well, I think it's Aubrey. I think it was a mistake by the coaches of the Big East to leave Aubrey off the preseason team. She was a monster at Notre Dame. She finally comes home to Marquette and is putting up huge numbers, over 3 kills per set, is putting points on the board. She's a 6 rotation player. She plays all the way around, has a very aggressive serve for Marquette. And she just scores so many points, which is what you need to win games. And Marquette's won a lot of those, 13 straight right now, which is a monster run, 10 in a row at home.
Yes.
And so she's just been a killer offensively.
But yet she's not the best newcomer.
Isn't that crazy?
Well, it's Yadi. It's Yadi.
I think you got it.
I think it's very clearly the setter. The setter is the most important position. So.
Yeah, but they're having so much success. So I guess the next one would be, what is most likely going to happen? Will Coach Ryan Tice prevail as voted as the best coach in the Big East, or will Carson Murray take away or run away with Big East Player of the Year?
Well, I think it's Coach Tice. Coming into the year, there wasn't as high of expectations as what they're doing right now. They only had 2 returning starters, 2 players currently starting, didn't play at all or played very little. 2 new players and transfers are in the starting lineup. Just a lot of youth on the team, and so there wasn't that many high expectations. But then they came out and beat number 11, Kentucky, in the first game of the season. That kind of started their momentum. I think they could have potentially beat Wisconsin when they went and traveled there. They were up by a ton in the 3rd set and just kind of let that match fall away. And so if they win that, man, that win streak that they'd be on, they would be undefeated. So, I just think that it's got to be Tice.
Yeah. And quickly, Jackson, who is your bet here?
I think we finally agree on something, Ben. It's got to be Coach Tice. He's done an incredible job this season with this team, and I can't wait to see what he's able to do down the stretch.
But they have a big game coming up on Friday, Marquette or Creighton. Jackson, we'll go to you. Quick answers here.
I've got to be consistent. I'm going to go Marquette, going undefeated the rest of the way. They beat Creighton on Friday.
Shocker.
People love that. What about you, man?
I think it's Creighton. Marquette's 5-24 all time, and a couple weeks ago I picked that this would be the only match that Marquette loses the rest of the regular season. So I just got to stick to my guns.
What a great way to be optimistic for Marquette, I guess.
Hey, one loss the rest of the way.
Well, thank you
And
guys
it's Friday.
so much for your answers. That is all the time that we have for right now. But heading into pro sports coming up, what's going on at Warriors practice? Plus, who is the best bet to win the World Series? We dive into that after the break.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
And we're back in Studio 7 as we will discuss our World Series predictions, the Draymond Green drama, and more. Joining me on the panel tonight is Jackson Gross and London Davis. Let's jump right into it. Now, with the playoffs, they are in full swing. Can the Atlanta Braves repeat, or will someone else be showered in confetti? Jackson, we'll start with you.
Man, as well as the Braves have played so far this season, stealing the NL East from the Mets, it's got to be the Seattle Mariners this year. I know they blew the game against the Astros. They're up 7-2. Yordan Alvarez just hit a walk-off about 10 or 15 minutes ago. But I love this Mariners team. They have the pitching and Robbie Ray, Diego Castillo, a bunch of other really solid pitchers. They got some really good batters in Julio Rodriguez, Cal Raleigh, Ty France. They just got an absolute squad out there in Seattle, and I think they have enough. Even though they fell in Game 1 against the Astros, I think they got enough to take this series back and make it all the way to the World Series and win.
That would be something. That is a Cinderella story.
I love Cinderella stories.
London, what about you?
I have to go with the Yankees. I mean, Aaron Judge. Simple.
You don't have to.
Like that's really all you need to know. The season that he's had has been such an amazing season. Comparing him to other greats, Hall of Famers, I mean, he's gonna take him there.
But baseball's not like basketball, you know what I mean? Like, you can't carry a team based off of hitting. So I guess I don't know if would you agree? Like, you can't really say that. Like, you know, I don't know, London, if that's a valid point here.
No, because we've seen the Los Angeles Angels. They with Mike Trout and even with Shohei, they have two top 10, maybe top 5 players in the league, and they still can't do anything. So it takes a full team. The Yankees are great, but I don't think they're going to win it all this year.
Yeah, I think the Astros have a huge advantage here, and I think that they will actually go all the way. And I know people are like, oh, they're the cheaters.
Where's the nearest trash can?
But the biggest reason why I'm saying that is experience. Experience is everything when it comes to playoff sports, in any sport. Mm-hmm. And so this team, there's a whole bunch of players that have loads of experience, and I think that they're going to take it far because, I mean, they were right there last year. And so, you know, they could do it. I believe in them. I don't have a lot of pride saying that, but let's just see what happens. It's going to be a great rest of the series and rest of the playoffs. Mm-hmm. But moving on, the NBA season has not even started, but there is drama like it's mid-season 4 right now.
Wow. The
Golden State, one of their star players, Draymond Green, punches his teammate Jordan Poole during practice and has stepped away from the team. Although the Warriors say they are handling the situation in-house, Should Draymond Green be suspended by the NBA? Is it time for Golden State to move on London? We'll start with you.
I don't think he should be suspended. This happens. It's happened with teams. We've seen players fight. This was an altercation. Draymond, now he is in the wrong. He has come out to the press and admitted that he was wrong in the situation, but he should not be suspended. This happens with teams. They fight. We have these altercations. It should have stayed in-house. The video should never have gotten leaked, and just fire whoever gave the video to TMZ. Like, that's
look at this Douglas
crazy.
right here. Oh my gosh, he's just getting up in his
man.
face. You see that altercation? Oh, man. Oh.
It's tough. It's tough.
But you said that this always happens. Does it always, like, I see it with other teams, but, you know, is Draymond Green sort of like a cancer for the team? You know, with Kevin Durant situation, he, you know, got ejected, he got a technical foul and couldn't even play in the NBA Finals in 2016, which cost him the finals. You know, what's going on with Draymond Green? Should they even keep him?
I think he should be suspended. I mean, if Bobby Portis gets suspended for punching Nikola Mirotic for actually defending himself, then I don't know what that was. That's not self-defense. Jordan Poole pushes him because they're trash talking, whatever. That's part of the NBA. But you don't sucker punch your own teammate. And there's been a whole bunch of stuff. I think he should probably stay with the Warriors, although Stephen A. Smith said he might go to the Lakers at some point. This is last year in the Bay.
Yeah.
But I think he should be suspended.
Harry, here's a follow-up. Okay, you're the Warriors, you're the front office. You have Jordan Poole here and you have Draymond Green. They're both looking for contract extensions. Which one are you choosing?
It's got to be Jordan Poole. He's the younger player. Draymond Green is starting to exit his prime right now.
Interesting.
Easily Jordan Poole. Same reason. He's a younger player. He can help with the backup with Clay being out. Draymond's position could almost easily be replaced if he was gone.
Right. Well, I guess we're going to have to leave that topic there. But moving on, Victor Wembanyama, NBA's top draft pick right now, has caught a lot of attention of many after an impressive performance versus G League Ignite. Some say he could be one of the greatest prospects in recent memory and might even be picked over LeBron James as the best. Jackson, we'll start with you. Do you agree with this?
No, and it's hard to answer the question because Wembanyama is just an athletic and physical specimen. I mean, 7'4", has a couple of tween, has these fadeaway threes. Like, he is like Kevin Durant, but like even taller. He's like Rudy Gobert if he could actually play offense. If he could play offense. But
Kevin Durant's
it's hard to say because we have hindsight with LeBron and just the incredible career he's had. Year 20 right now, but I still got to say LeBron James. I mean, like, I know it's different with prospects, but yeah, like you said, it's LeBron James, the second best player of all time in NBA history. So
second best, hey, emphasize that quickly.
Definitely agree with the second best.
Okay, good.
But I would 100% take Victor over LeBron. If these two people were in the same draft, I'm taking Victor.
Oh my God.
Listen, one person in the NBA we say is completely unguardable is Kevin Durant because he just has a high arcing shot. But Victor has that at 7'5", and he has the ability to move in the post, rebound, and defend. Victor, simple.
Listen, Stephen A. Smith says it all the time. Get off the weed, because that is crazy. Anyway, London, I know we'll have a lot more discussion and debates later on, but guys, thank you so much for a great discussion. I know it was quick, but it was great. We're out of time, but be sure to tune in on October 25th for all of our coverage on Marquette sports and more. I'm Andrew Muzu for Jackson Gross. Good night, Marquette.